Ever since I was a child, I've always been terrified of the idea of possession. And even as I grew older and became less frightened of most horror genres, something about possession still lingered in my darkest fears. But maybe I'm just overthinking it. Or perhaps I should be worried. Maybe there is something out there, waiting to strike when we least expect it. On the 21st of September 1952, in West Germany, Anneliese Michel was born into a home of strict religion. She was a quiet and kind, well-mannered child who suffered many ailments. As time progressed, Anneliese started to have epileptic seizures, causing her to show strange behavioral symptoms. However, after seeing a neurologist who gave her an EEG scan, it was concluded that Anneliese was fine. But of course, this was the 1970s, and technology wasn't what it is today. Soon after, Anneliese was sent to a specialized hospital due to a lung illness. It was there she would have her first event. Anneliese claimed that she started to see demonic figures that tormented her, and she could constantly smell the stench of what can only be defined as burning fecal matter. She told her doctors, and as a result, they prescribed her epileptic drugs. But perhaps that was a mistake. It wasn't long before things became much worse. Anneliese would regularly state that she could hear noises from underneath her floor and inside the closet and ceiling, and before long her peculiar behavior began to focus on religious artifacts. On one occasion, for example, her mother found her glaring at a statue of the Virgin Mary, her eyes completely black. All of this started to take its toll on Anneliese, and her father had had enough. He decided that holy intervention was needed to help Anneliese, so he took her to Italy to visit a religious shrine. This, however, only made the situation worse. Upon entering the shrine, Anneliese could walk no further, as the ground inside burned her feet. When returning home from Italy, Anneliese's family requested that Father Ernst Alt visit Anneliese. Seeing her state of health, both physically and spiritually, he made his visits more regular. Anneliese appeared to be responding well to his visits, and always felt better after his blessing. Still, this only lasted for a short while, before things got bad yet again. In fact, they got much worse. Soon, Anneliese stopped eating normal food, and instead ate bugs and drank her own urine. This physically took a toll on her, and she became malnourished and more sick. As well, she became much more violent, attacking her siblings and even Father Ernst. Others started to smell the burning fecal matter stench Anneliese had described before, and Anneliese claimed that voices were repeatedly telling her that she was eternally damned. Father Ernst Alt had seen enough and requested that Father Roth, a much more experienced man of faith, come and see Anneliese. Anneliese was not herself. All that was good and loving about her seemed nearly gone. It was as if she had taken on a completely different persona. And so Father Roth asked, "Who are you?" In a voice not of her own, she replied, "I am Judas. I am Hitler, Cain, Nero, Fleshman. I am Satan." Father Ernst and Roth had decided that Anneliese was possessed. With permission from the church and help from Father Renz, multiple exorcisms were performed on Anneliese, during which many unnatural things had occurred. When sprayed with regular water, she would not react. However, when changed to holy water, without her knowing, she would become extremely violent. As well, Anneliese spoke in multiple voices and numerous languages, such as Latin and Chinese, which she had no previous training in. Anneliese soon became much worse and resembled more a corpse than someone alive. However, she refused medical help, and as a result, Anneliese Michel died. Her last words being, "Mama, please stay with me. I'm afraid." Perhaps Anneliese Michel was simply the victim of mental illness and archaic religious practice, her body unable to cope with the negligence of society. Her strict Christian upbringing influencing the degradation of her mental state. Or maybe there are unknown entities lurking, waiting, until we carelessly let our guards down, targeting us when we're at our weakest, with malicious intent. Maybe evil does exist. Either way, one thing is for sure. A young girl died when she didn't need to, and her story is not one of a happy ending. And so ends the tragic tale of Anneliese Michel. We hope to see you next time on Twisted Mysteries. Unless, of course, you are the mystery.
So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. All the links for those can be found in the description below.
Also, don't forget to subscribe by hitting that big button over there. And while you're at it, why not click that email checkbox so that our videos don't get buried with all the other channels you're subscribed to. I'm Zack.
And I'm Kyle. And we're Battlefront Productions. Really? You mean the subscribe button bigger than us?
Well, it is prettier than us.